Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis. With me today is Jiunn Liu, Seth Geis, and John McTavish. How you guys doing today?
Top notch.
What up?
All right. So today we are talking about the Jeremy Jack Blarney Stick, and we are celebrating St. Patrick's Day. This cigar is a long torpedo, 7x48. It comes out of the Tabacalera Real de Felipe Gregorio factory in the Dominican Republic. Wrappers Ecuadorian Candela, binder and filler both from the Dominican Republic. Price point is $8.40, and the cigar was released in July of 2019. But before we get into the review details, we're going to do a little drinking on the show. So I think there's two people here that are going the sophisticated route, and then two people that are going to go the fun route, right?
Dude, Jiunn, you look old too, man, right now. You look old.
Old?
You look aged. Yeah.
Yeah,
Last time I saw you, you look like 10 years older, man. What the fuck happened? Coronavirus?
No, I fucking had surgery.
What'd you have surgery for?
Nah, we'll talk about it later.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
As long as you're okay, man.
He's converting. It's all right.
Yeah.
Penis enlargement?
A little snip, snip.
Breast enhancement.
All right, Jiunn. So what are you drinking today, Jiunn?
I picked up. Seth inspired me.
Ooh.
So I picked up a bottle
Nice.
of Redbreast,
Okay.
but this is the cast strength version. So
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
not as
Bird's
easy to
different than my
find
Bird.
as the regular 12-year-old. So this stuff is coming out of Middleton Distillery. Same folks that gave you, brands like Powers, Redbreast, Jameson, Green Spot, Yellow Spot. So a lot of what you think you know about Irish whiskey and there's a brand is basically all from the same Middleton Distillery. So
There you go.
yeah, this is good, man. I love this stuff. This is proof just right. 54.6%. So typical Irish whiskeys, you get a lot of these like biscuity vanilla type flavors, very approachable. But since this is cast strength, it is just at the right proof for you to get all those flavors.
All right, John, what are you going to drink tonight?
Well, I am also going sophisticated. I went with Teeling. It's one of my favorite Irish whiskeys. There is a lot of really good Irish whiskey out there. This one I've fallen in love with a long time ago, and we were down in Ireland and picked up a small number of bottles, maybe a half dozen or something like that. So this is a rum cask finished Irish whiskey. And a little bit about Teeling. Jack and Stephen, who are the sons of John Teeling. John Teeling founded the Cooley Distillery and then wisely sold the distillery, but was smart enough to keep the stock. So what happened was they started up a new distillery. I think it was one of the first distilleries in Dublin in maybe 100 and some odd years. And that was only 2015. So they're already putting out product because they have this whiskey stock that they can pull from to create these wonderful whiskeys. And this is one of the many delicious whiskeys they have. What's nice about this is that I find with a lot of rum cask whiskeys, the rum kind of takes over the spirit. But I think they've used multi-fill rum cask because you just get a little bit of the sweetness and you get more of that molasses character. And it just kind of serves to balance out the unmalted barley in the whiskey. So, yeah.
Nice. So Seth, these guys talk about stuff like they have a spirit show or something.
I didn't know about this Middleton fucking distillery, man.
Most people don't.
What's this? I have the little sticker of it. Yeah, whatever.
So what's this sophisticated offering you're going to go with tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the classic. It's Irish Car Bomb. You got a little
Alright.
Guinness, little Bailey's, and I actually went with Redbreast, which I think is nicer than Jameson, but mine's not cast strength.
Yeah.
Because I don't live in California.
There you go.
What about you, man? What do you
So I'm
do?
going
You got
to
some
go with
class?
a pickleback. So a little whiskey, a little bit of pickle juice as a chaser. So that will be the run that we're going to go with today. So you guys ready?
This is a very contrasting
This is
show.
more for Seth and I. You guys can sip it on it since you started the
This
thing.
has been a while
so.
since I've done. I'm gonna have to get my headset out of the way here.
I'm going to have to send apologies to a bunch of Irish.
Here we go.
Is
Ready?
Jägermeister Irish? Oh.
It's German.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, it's good. Put your thing down.
Yum.
That was
we
pretty
should,
good time. That was
we
pretty
should
good
do
time on my
We should
part.
do a boozing show, you guys.
Yeah,
I feel like
do
that was
an
we should
episode.
do that. You just get completely hammered.
Yeah, like we have to drink like take a shot every 10 minutes or something.
I'm down for that.
That's
Isn't
a
it
little
St.
bit of-
Patrick's Day like this?
That's a
or
bit of
St.
a
Patty's
little
Day
bit of
this
a long
weekend?
period.
No, it's
next
next
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
You
17th.
Scottish bastard.
All right, you guys ready to talk about this cigar?
No.
All right.
I'm ready to do another car bomb though.
So we'll start with Jiunn. What were your overall thoughts on the Blarney Stick from Jeremy Jack?
I thought it was overall, like, I think most Candela sticks are average at best. So I think this is really no different. It's cool that it's festive, of course, and smoking this time of the year. But, it's a very mild cigar. Enough complexity transitions to kind of go back and forth. But overall, so disclaimer, I don't know about you guys, but mine had a sweet tip on it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was a consistent thing. So usually I kind of shit over like sweet tips or like kind of infuse of any sort, but I kind of felt like this worked because it kind of balanced out some of that vegetal kind of herbal qualities of the cigar. If anything, I thought it was unique that it was sweet tipped and I was still able to like, taste your typical, Candela style, like vegetal hay kind of notes.
Sure. All right, Seth, how about you? What were your thoughts on this cigar?
I thought the tapered head. I don't know. I don't know. At the time, I thought it was pretty impressed with just kind of like the little bushy kind of multicolor thing. That was the highlight of it. But with that, what can I say? He kind of just embraced the Candela St. Patrick's Day theme with this one. I think they just kind of were like, "Fuck it, we're gonna be glam metal, Motley Crue, 1980s, go over the top, throw a flag on there, sweeten the tip, give it a Candela, and just kind of make it what it is." It's not mind blowing. I do think that the sweetened tip actually helps the blend out in delivering a profile, which is it is what it is. But it's nothing spectacular. But I mean, yeah, I'd probably smoke them on St. Patrick's Day. So yeah. What about you, John?
I don't remember who the blender was that said it, and they kind of said that you can kind of go two ways with Candela. You can either go as far away from Candela as you can possibly go because you're trying to hide all the impurities and nastiness that's in a Candela, or you can just lean into it as hard as you can and just make it full Candela. And I feel like they tried to straddle that line between the two, and it just didn't work for me. Sweet Cap, man. Sweet Cap is just, I don't want to be a hater, but Sweet Cap is just, it's such a crutch, and it's not enjoyable, and it's extremely off-putting. The Candela on its own, I thought, was a pretty solid Candela. Like, it was a very paint-by-numbers Candela, which is good because they're not trying to move away from what the profile of Candela is. They're not putting a different binder on it. They're not putting a bunch of Esteli Ligero in it. They're not trying to mask all that Candela bitterness and grass. And hey, they're saying this is a Candela. But by putting that Sweet Cap on there, man, it just like the whole time I was just fighting the Sweet Cap, trying to get the Candela flavors out of it. And for me, it ended up just being a distraction. But I think, as Seth was saying, which he can't hear me now, but I think that if you're looking for a relatively, like Seth said, if you're looking for a relatively approachable Candela for St. Patrick's Day to celebrate, this is probably a good choice. Yeah. Aaron, what about you?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the sweetened head on the cigar, but for me, it didn't really last much past the first half inch, so it didn't really play in too much. The problem I had with this was pretty quickly after lighting up, the wrapper cracked from the foot, just below the band. And then once I kind of got deeper into it, it cracked underneath the band, and then I got the band off. It was a complete mess. I mean, the wrapper came off at that point. The binder was starting to come off. I was like, and with the tapered head, like I'm trying to hold it, and I feel like it's like squeezing out like a burrito is getting ready to pop. But yeah, I mean, it started fairly average. A fairly amount of char kind of joined in about halfway point and kind of knocked things down a bit for me. And I don't think I've got the full Candela experience because once that wrapper cracked, it started to kind of like it just kind of lifted off the rest of the cigar. So it wasn't burning with what I was smoking. It was kind of like if it burned, it was just burning on its own kind of thing. So I don't think I got the full experience. So I would say I was hoping that you guys didn't have that same kind of fragility of the wrapper. So it didn't seem like that was the case. So, my experience probably isn't going to be the most helpful for people reading reviews. So let's get into scores. Start at the top with you, Jiunn, at 5.80. Seth and John both gave it a 5.35, and then I gave it a 4.23. So, Jiunn, how does that 5.80 match up for you?
Oh, looks like maybe getting some free Blarneys from. No, I mean it's a respectable cigar. Like I was completely on the opposite end of what John thought. I felt like the sweet tip enhanced it, and it combated well against those vegetal kind of notes. Would I smoke this again? No, probably not.
What?
No, because I just don't like. There's very few cigars that I will smoke again for enjoyment.
Reviews. Okay, you and I are out on St. Patrick's Day. I'm getting hammered.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I will go after this.
Okay, well then there you go. Then we're smoking. Then it serves its purpose. Right. That's what I'm talking about.
For instance, they're gonna be like, hey Seth, you're gonna be like, hey, you want to smoke a Padron 50th, or you want to have this Blarney on St. Patrick's Day?
Fucking Blarney stick.
Blarney.
Dude,
I'm gonna do Blarney stick.
Blarney stick.
That's not a fair question because you need it. Am I stoned? Am I drunk? Because if I'm stoned or drunk, there's a possibility I might be like, give me a fucking Blarney stick, man.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, Seth, 5.35.
It's not bad. The sweet tip, it was almost like I think John says it well. It's straddling the line. It's like, they didn't want to go Cuba Candela, but at the same time, they wanted to be a little bit more elegant than if a Baccarat ever made a Candela. I do think it helps the blend though. And they just kind of accept it for what it is. This is one of those, I think Illusione has already made probably the best Candelas that's ever been made. I don't think there's any point in any trying to go after them. I think Skip's trying to do some funky things, and I do think he has some pretty Candelas, but the blends aren't that wowing. And VI tried to copy Dion, but I think this Jeremy Jack was just like, let's just make something for St. Patrick.
By the way, the companies that are doing cigars that put like a little thin strip of Candela for presentation, basically purposes. Come on.
What do you mean by thin, like what Skip's
for aesthetics, basically.
How thin are we talking? Well,
you mean like the Green Hornet where they put a little at the cap or at the foot or whatever? Exactly. You know what? I actually kind of like that.
Just for the look for it.
No. It adds to the flavor actually.
Shut up, dude. There's
There's no fucking.
No, it totally does.
Man, don't give 100%.
Me that I'll bring a Green Hornet for you.
Of course, you'd say it after talking about stock and vintages and casks and cellars and.
Tell me, man.
I'm done. For that fucking little it adds something shit.
All right, John, 5.35.
I agree with largely what Seth said, with the exception of the sweet cap, and that could just be a personal preference. I'm like we talked about earlier. I'm super sensitive to artificial sweetener. I find it disgusting, and it really sits on my palate. So for me, it was just a huge distraction the entire time. But you take that away, would I light this up again at St. Patrick's Day? Hell yeah, I would. Wouldn't even think about it. Absolutely, I would. And I don't think I need to be hammered to do it. I think I'd be like, what am I going to celebrate St. Patrick's Day with? Well, get out the Blarney Stick.
Yeah, my 4.23 matches up with my experience. I mean, wrapper coming off, I'm not really smoking Candela. It's hard to tell, getting a lot of char and stuff like that. I will say that if I was smoking this on St. Patrick's Day and I was hammered and the wrapper cracked like it did, I would be fighting somebody. So not a good time.
I feel like with the issues you had, the cigar still getting a 4.23, that's a compliment.
Yeah, I mean, when you see the pictures in the review, you'll see what it looked like. It was not pretty.
No, so. You definitely had to baby that wrapper though. It was fragile.
It was. Yeah. I mean, it's like a Cameroon.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You just got to be careful with it. Yeah. So, fun stick though.
Yeah. All right. Any other final thoughts on this, or we did?
I think
extra stuff.
Well, I mean, after John's facing the Candela on the Green Hornet wrapper, I'd like to hand him the El Palador title because shit, I can't even pick up that Candela. So. Yeah.
Now, we'll say when it's on the foot, no, I can't taste that. But when it's on the cap, absolutely.
I don't know how you translate El Palador to Quebec, French.
We'll figure that out.
I'll figure that out.
Yeah. All right. If you just catch this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and catch the videos there. Catch all
Le
our
Palais.
on podcast.
You're struggling there. It's like,
I'm trying to do 2 things. I'm trying to do 2 things at once. I was trying to look up the thing at the same time.
You can't do that stuff.
I know.
man.
I get over
Join
that.
us on picklebag.com.
Yeah, and you catch all of our review
Go to
accounts on
pickleback.com.
podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Barney.